Okay, so if there's something wrong with me, you can actually tell me what causes it.
Yes.
Whether it's a stress or diet or smoking.
There are a number of companies, especially out of the United States, that are looking at methylation. And the whole point of that is really to see what's happening to your body at the cellular level.
Dr. Joshua Chou specializes in regenerative medicine and space biology. This time, we invited Dr. Chou to speak about XELGEN, the world's most advanced biomarker platform and databank. XELGEN uses advanced diagnostics, including DNA methylation analysis, biological age tracking, and over 250,000 biomarker data points to create individualized health programs based on your unique biology. Start from the basics and just explain to someone who has no idea what methylation is.
Basically, your genes turning on and off. That's as simple as that. We know our cells and our genes is responsible for certain actions in the body. So methylation is just really looking at which genes are actually on and off. And from there, we can understand what is happening to your body.
So what do you think are the biggest nutrition takeouts on upregulating our good genes?
I think nutrition is very interesting because
Welcome to Chief Life, the podcast that cuts the crap with science-backed insights on health, nutrition, and performance. Get expert advice, actionable tips, and everything you need to take control of your health and live your best life. Let's get started. Hi, Josh. How are you today?
good.
I'm so glad to have you here for the third time.
Thank
So
you.
for those who don't know you, Dr. Joshua Chou, you work in space medicine for the Australian Space Agency. You also have your own brand of skincare called XELGEN. And we recorded 2 episodes about all those things, about stem cells, about exosomes, and about your skincare and skin testing. So if someone is interested, they should go and listen because they get all the basics
Thank you.
about stem cells and exosomes there. But today, we are here to talk about XELGEN methylation testing.
That's right.
And most people heard the word methylation, but they actually don't know what it means. So if we can start from the basics and just explain to someone who has no idea what methylation is.
Absolutely. Look, it sounds like a very fancy word, but it's basically your genes turning on and off. That's as simple as that. So, we know our cells and our genes is responsible for certain actions in the body. So methylation is just really looking at which genes are actually on and off. And from there, we can understand what is happening to your body.
Yeah, okay. So when I did like a genetics testing course and became practitioner, and what they kept saying there is that the genes load the gun and environment pulls the trigger.
Yes.
So we can't change our genes, but as you said, we can switch them on and off
That's
or
correct.
upregulate or downregulate with what we do in our environment. So our food, sleep, pollution in the air, pollution in the water, like all these environmental toxins and our lifestyle habits decide how our genes are going to work.
That's right.
And so with this methylation testing, you can test which genes are on or off, or
Yes.
what is the concept?
Yeah, so the concept is, there are a number of companies, especially out of the United States, that are looking at methylation. And the whole point of that is really to see, what's happening to your body at the cellular level. Now, what we're doing differently in XELGEN is that we're looking at 260,000 biomarkers in your body, and
That's a
whether
lot.
It is a lot, and I think that is the challenge. So a lot of these other companies, similar companies, they only look at 10,000 or 50,000 or somewhere in that vicinity, and that is okay to give you a snapshot. But if you are really truly trying to understand where your body is, where it's going, then you need more data. Now, the challenge with that, it sounds great, 260,000 is a big number. It sounds great and fantastic, but that's also the challenge, is the data processing.
Yeah.
So we're very privileged to be able to work with Harvard Medical School, their bioinformatics team, which is the best in the world, to really develop the pipeline and our processes to be able to analyze that. So when we get your result, it's not only 260,000 data points. We look at the interaction between each of them.
Oh,
So
wow.
that equates to about 3.3 billion data points.
That's crazy.
It's insane. It's actually
so you have
insane.
some kind of software to analyze it?
Yeah,
or?
so we have to work with the likes of Amazon Web Service, NVIDIA, and people like that to be able to have the AI capability, the platform, the storage to be able to do that kind of analysis.
Okay, so how does it happen? You said it's a blood test?
Yes, it is. It's actually, it sounds fancy, but that all happens on our end. So for a consumer's perspective, we actually send you a blood collection card.
Okay.
So you add a few drops of the blood.
So just a finger prick?
You can finger prick, or whenever you're going to do a blood test, just add a few drops. And you basically send it to us. We have office in Tokyo, in Hong Kong, and United States next year. And we basically do all the analysis from there.
Okay, so you send it to Harvard to get analyzed?
Yes,
And then,
So
and then you get the results?
That's right.
And so can we do it in Australia? Like, can I order the kit in Australia and send it to you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So again, it's very simple. You order, we send you the blood collection card, you just mail it to us, and then we take care of the rest.
And how long does it take to get the results?
It's normally about 2 to 3 weeks,
Okay,
because
that's
of,
pretty quick.
as you can imagine, the amount of data that comes through, and then we have to analyze it and put it together for you.
And so what kind of results do I get? Is it like a biological age like the other companies do? What is it?
Yes, so we also offer biological age for the different organs of your body, your heart, lungs,
Okay,
liver,
so you can get the, because I did test like that with another company and it just gives you like a overall biological age.
That's
it
right.
doesn't distinguish between
No,
the
we
organs.
we distinguish. So
wow.
we not only distinguish the major organs. I think there are 11 major organs, but we also look at the environmental factors. So you were talking about pollution, stress, hormone imbalance. So we also provide that as a general report as well.
Okay, so if there is something wrong with me, you can actually tell me what causes it.
Yes.
Whether it's a stress or diet or
Yes.
smoking or environmental pollution.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
how does it? How do you get that data? Like,
so these are all well-established studies. So we take it from international studies, and then the genes are associated with whether it be environmental or smoking and whatnot. So we actually take these, and in the back of our report, we actually have the references.
Okay.
So we really want to be transparent with the user. Is where is the data coming from? Where is the studies coming from? So these are all matched to studies that are out in the public, so that people know that this is not something that we just cooked up in the in the laboratory.
Yeah.
And so you can see from this report, we have different sections about your biological aging, how many probes we looked at for that specific patients, how many of them were active. We give you a score of your longevity.
Okay.
And just all
what is the longevity score?
So our longevity score is basically we calculate, how well your body overall as a system is functioning and where you need to work on. So for example, this person, he needs to work more on his neuroprotection and neurostimulation.
Okay, so that everyone gets this kind of book as a report. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's about 60 pages depending on the person. And we really look through, as you can see in there, we look at the interaction of your different system, immune system, your inflammation, because that's very important in terms of aging and any other condition, and of course these days metabolic.
Yeah,
yes.
100%. So I want to ask something. So when I do the genetics testing for my clients, I mean I don't do it, but I'm the practitioner, I facilitate it. People get tested all different types of genes, and this is just related to their fitness and nutrition. So let's say, as we said, we're born with certain genetics, and you can't change that, but you can change if the genes work or don't work at the moment. So for example, I have very bad genetics in regards to inflammation, which you just mentioned. So this is how some people, for example, can get away with not leading as healthy lifestyle and they're kind of fine, and some people like myself, I need to be really strict with my lifestyle because otherwise I do get inflammation because my poor lifestyle easily triggers those inflammatory genes. So when I get this test done, do I know if the genes are right now upregulated or active or switched off? I know that.
Yes,
okay, in the moment.
Yeah, because that's even better, because you know what genes you're looking for. We will be able to find it and then tell you how it's behaving, because this is not something you do once. Because genetic testing, like you said, your genes don't change.
Yeah.
That's something you do once. This is something you have to do periodically.
Because that's like the upregulation or downregulation
right.
of the genes that it can change like every week.
Exactly.
But because of your lifestyle and the toxins and environmental factors.
That's right. And so that's why when a client use XELGEN, we will track you. The more data points we have, the better we become at advising you what is happening to you.
Okay, so how often should someone do it?
So right now, people are doing it every quarter.
Every quarter.
Every quarter. But you can do twice a year, every 6 months, and so on. Just depending on your lifestyle, where you're at in life.
Yeah.
You might start off every half a year, but that can also increase later in life.
And so, what is the cost of the test?
So right now, it's $500 US dollars. So I think that more or less translates to about 800 Australian dollars.
Bummer about the conversion. 500 is actually not a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, the conversion gets you.
No, but for such a test, it's actually not a lot, full stop. Like, because it's so comprehensive. Like, it seems like no one else in the world has such a detailed test.
That's right, that's right. And like you said, this is really to give you a map of where are you right now, and more importantly, where you're heading. That's the main thing that we do differently is where are you heading? Where's your body heading? And that's how you prevent things from happening.
Yeah, that's great. So then, okay, so I get the test done. I find out what is so good and what's not so good. And then do you also help people with the strategies on how to improve?
Yes, that's right. So right now we actually collaborate with clinics. So the doctors can be able to use this to help advise you in terms of lifestyle changes. And then of course, nutritionists or the specialist that needs to be involved in your lifestyle change, I suppose.
Yeah. Okay, so we are a nutrition company at Chief. So what do you think are the biggest nutrition takeouts on upregulating our good genes and downregulating the not so good ones?
I think nutrition is very interesting because nutrition is also involved in metabolic, but on the same time, it's also involved in immunity, for example. So I think it encompasses quite a lot of different systems. And then, of course, for example, we can look at folate, vitamin Bs, and things like that, and how how active they are, and what nutrition you're actually missing. That's the main part.
Yeah. So pretty much folate and other B vitamins are the most important vitamins in methylation. So eating red meat and organ meats would be amazing. That's great to know. And also regarding toxins like glyphosate and heavy metals, would that affect methylation in our genes?
Yes, it definitely would. Yeah.
So when people, that's what people actually don't understand. Like everyone knows that ultra-processed foods are bad for us because they're high in calories, low in nutrients, and some of them don't have any alive nutrients. Like Christabel said, it's a dead Franken food that's got no electron charge, and it's just dead and doesn't provide us with any vitality, which I thought was really great explanation on her behalf. But another thing about ultra-processed foods is that they're usually made from grains and refined carbohydrates, and that's why they're high in glyphosate and also heavy metals. So it's kind of like a lot of different things about ultra-processed foods. There's not enough nutrients, there's a lot of toxins that can affect our health, a lot of those negative things. So probably cutting out ultra-processed foods would be the biggest one for our genes.
100%. And this is definitely sensitive enough to pick that up. I often get calls from the lab saying, what is wrong? What did this person do? And I'm like, why do you say that? It's like, well, the person looks very stressed, or this person looked like he or she just did a marathon. And I'm like, how did you know that? Because they could tell from the results. So your cells, your data don't lie. It tells you what's happening. And these are technicians who's never interacted with the customer. And they come back and like, their body condition look like they just did a marathon. I'm like, yes, they did Ironman 3 days ago.
Right. I love it as a nutritionist and exercise physiologist. Just get my clients do it and they can't lie. Like, my diet has been healthy, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, look at this. So it can literally tell what I've done. Like if I was eating ultra-processed foods and didn't tell you about it, you would be able to tell.
Yeah, my friend did it, and he just started a job, and he was obviously naturally stressed. Maybe he didn't realize it, but it showed up in his report. This guy is very stressed.
Yeah. Wow. So what other therapies do you recommend to people to change their genetic expression besides nutrition, reducing stress? What else is there?
Yeah. So for me, XELGEN is actually a Japanese company, and we're over there because we do a lot of the cell therapy and exosome and stem cell therapy. So the problem with, again, whether it be cell therapy, stem cell, exosome, eating or changing lifestyle, it's a feeling. It's an experience. This is not really a hard. Sure, you can see your body changing.
Yeah.
You feel good, but there's no hard data to it. So what we've actually done is we partner with all these world-leading clinics is to be able to show the patients, you've done this change in lifestyle, whether it be cell therapy or change of diet or exercise. This is what it looks like at a cellular level. So we're providing, empowering the user to have that knowledge of, okay, I've invested in my time and energy, what is it changing? And so that way you can target your next reiteration to be very focused for yourself.
So you can actually see if the things you're doing are working.
Yes.
So you need to do them kind of one by one.
That's right. But it also helps that credibility, because there are a lot of options for things out there, but whether they have effect on you or not it's really hard to say. So this is one way we can be able to measure that and say, well, yes or no.
Yeah, that's incredible. And so when someone gets it, like in Australia, let's say I order it online, I do the test, send it to you, and then I get the result, who do I go to see about the results? Like, do I talk to someone online or in person, or what is the process?
Yeah, so right now, a general person that's healthy and doing this for wellness, they look at the result. If they're happy with it, they accept it, do their changes or whatever. For people who have concerns, we also can facilitate, specialists, whether it be in Australia, Japan, or even the United States.
Okay, so
because telehealth is very convenient these days.
Yeah, so you have telehealth appointments. Yeah. That's great. And I've heard, you said it one time and somewhere else, that the clinic that you work with in Japan provides the exosomes to Brian Johnson.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's the craziest, wealthiest out there biohacker in the world, for those who don't know. Do you do this testing on him as well, or what does he do?
Yes, we're trying to get him to do this. Because he just started the exosome therapy not long ago. I think he reported on Twitter about 2-3 months ago. So it will take some time before that kicks into effect, in which we were hoping that he will do our test.
Okay, so with the exosomes, and people should really go and listen to the first episode. You said something that I didn't really like that much, but like I think a lot of people like it. You said that the exosome therapy can actually undo the negative effects of alcohol intake.
Yes.
So if I change nothing else, and like let's say I had really bad results here because of my nutrition, stress, alcohol, marathon running, whatever, like I did everything wrong, and then I changed nothing and just did the exosomes, would that make a big difference to the expression?
It would, because the purpose of the exosome is, one, lowering the inflammation, and we know if you lower the inflammation in your body, overall you will feel better. That's a fact.
Yeah.
So after that, then it will allow your body to be able to have that environment to regenerate or focus on the areas that needs to be fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but then, I can only do the exosomes legally in Japan.
Yes.
So if I go to Japan, spend the money and time, it's not that expensive. It's $2,500 a treatment, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but then you have the flights and accommodation. So, I go to Japan, I've done everything wrong, my results are dreadful. I go to Japan, do the exosomes that makes it better, but then I can't go to Japan every quarter. So then I still have to not drink, eat healthily to maintain the results. Is that right? That's what you recommend?
Look, I think like anything, you can't expect one thing to change everything.
Yeah.
So it has to be a holistic. Even with the exosome, you still have to live well, eat well, sleep well, and so on. So what we've actually identified, and we're the first in the world to do that, is to look at, so your exosome has a different stage regeneration. The first stage happens in the first month, where it stimulates your immune system to kickstart it again. The second stage, between 2 and 3 months, it starts to target specifically the metabolic pathways. So that's where you see the alcohol protection, increase in metabolism. So even after one single shot, we can still track that even for now, up to 5 months, that the effects are still there. The regeneration is still there.
Wow.
You definitely won't feel it physically, but internally, those effects are still, the cascade is still happening. So it is a long-term, and to your point, it is an investment, but it's an investment in yourself.
100%.
Every injection is helping you boost yourself. So lots of people like to compare it, how's that different from supplements? Supplements is something you eat, it boosts you, but then it gets cleared out.
Yeah.
This is something that's reigniting the regeneration process.
It actually regenerates.
Yeah.
Interesting. So is there anything else you want to tell us about the XELGEN that I didn't ask you?
No, we're very excited by it, and I think it's a great compliment to anyone out there that is looking at changing your lifestyle or doing something different, but want a way or a method to be able to track yourself. I think we live in a very exciting time, with the rise of AI, large data, and then that convergence between biotech and also data science, and it's very exciting to see mapping your body, your health, but in numbers.
I know.
I sit there in front of the monitor and I look at 260,000 numbers. It's actually quite crazy, but each of those numbers tells a story about yourself.
It's so exciting. So when you did the self for yourself,
yes,
the test for yourself, what is the most interesting thing you found, or most shocking thing you found in your own report, if you can say that?
I think for me, there wasn't, like dramatic change because I've been doing exosome for a long time. But I can share with you one of my family member that did this recently. She suffered from a lot of fatigue, energy loss, and things like that. And those are very physical experiences. So we did that, and we do see that it's associated with inflammation. Mm-hmm. But what no one picked up was she was at a very, very high risk for COPD. Okay. She's never had any lung issue or anything, but her data says otherwise. So it was a great demonstration that we were able to pick that up before it even happened. And now she's able to try and prevent it from happening.
Yeah, that's crazy. So are there any other things that it can potentially pick up that would be hard to pick up in general blood test or general doctor checkup?
That's right. So when you go to get a blood test, and it gives you what's happening at that point in time. And also, more importantly, it's also limited in terms of the data that we can extract. A normal blood test, we can only get out 5% of the data, 10% at max. With methylation, we get 100%. Okay. But that's also the problem. 100% is a lot of data. How do someone process that? How do we take out all the needles out of the haystack and categorize it? So the example I give to people is like your genetic test is basically telling you, what brand of car you are and what model you are. What methylation test does is look at taking out all the parts of the car and telling you when do you need to service each of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's a great example.
That's a very good example. That completely, I'm sure that it makes sense to everyone. So if someone wants to order this test and get it done, where do they go? They
go to our website, XELGEN.bio, and just contact us and we'll be able to help facilitate that.
Amazing. I think that'd be a great Christmas gift as well.
Absolutely, especially before Christmas and after Christmas.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much. And we should definitely organize an event here at our Chief HQ to show people how to do it, and maybe we can sell the kits here during the event. That would be amazing.
Yeah, get people to get on a chief study, chief diet, and see how they change.
I'm excited for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Veronica.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Let us know in the comments below what topics interest you, and don't forget to follow us.